We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Ian and this channel is all about music and art. And if you've watched the channel before, you may know that I run a company called Sinners Music. We're a record label, a studio and an online music instrument retailer. And we've just sold what seems to be our largest profit margin sale that we've ever had. But there's a story attached to this. So some of what we do, we have agencies. We deal with companies like Korg and other music distribution companies. But actually, one of the things that we do is that sometimes we buy or we try and buy either musical instruments or music accessories from auction houses. And we started doing this over lockdown. Now the problem with that is that you don't quite know what you're going to get till it literally turns up. A good example would be that we bought a box full of what were called drumsticks. They didn't look quite like drumsticks. I thought they were like a timpani stick. They had a weird sort of end. They turned out to be knitting needles. And actually, when we contacted the auction house, they said, "Oh, well, we're happy to send them back, but it would have cost us 30 quid to send them back. They only cost us 35 quid to buy." And we have hundreds of these things. So, you know, we are selling them on eBay, but hey, that's another story. We're not selling them as drumsticks. We're selling them as what they really are, which is a wooden wool knitting needle. So there's quite a big amount of risk associated with buying things from auction houses, because they never tell you the full. They never give you a very accurate description of what the goods are. You have to go on using the photograph of, you know, if you're lucky to get more than one photograph. Anyway, middle of last year, I bought a load of these. So this is a music folder, and what you do is you put your music in it, and the music can just clip in. Really good idea. It holds 20 sheets of music, and I think we bought 40 of them, and they came into us with all of the fees that you get from the auction house. Because the thing to say about an auction is, say you win something for £10. That's not what you're going to pay. The best rule of thumb would be to double what the actual hammer price is by the time that you get the auction house fees, which are usually 20-25% plus shipping and anything else that might be added onto it. Think of it as double. So you need to be aware of that if you're buying anything from an auction house, an online auction house. Anyway, these came to us. I think there was nobody else really bidding on these. They came into us at about 79p each, including all of the fees. So, and when I checked what the sort of normal retail price for the recommended retail is, £19.95. Nobody's selling them at that. You can buy them on Amazon for about £12.99, although there is one place on Amazon selling them at £10.99. So we decided to sell them cheaper than anybody else, because we bought them at such a good price, at £9.95. So they've been popping out over the last few months. We've been selling them here and there, and suddenly I think it's a music school up in Scotland has bought all of our stock, which is retail value is about £360, and they've bought the lot. what I thought would be a really good idea to have a look at is let's have a look at actually the profit margin. Because depending on how you look at it, the profit margin could be considered to be around about 95%. The reality is it's not anywhere near that, but actually it's worth a look. So what we need to know is we need to know the total cost of all of the folders. We also need to know the costs that are incurred by the online site that we're using. Now, we're actually using a site that we've been using them for the last 18 months or so, OnBuy. They're not one of the bigger ones. Now, and their fees are 9%, which is about half the price that you would pay to eBay. So if you sell something on eBay, you're going to be paying 18 to 20%, depending on what sort of account that you've got, really. Our fees normally on eBay are about 18%. Amazon is something close to that as well. So you've got to take that sort of thing into account. If you sell, and musical instruments, the margin on musical instruments is quite low. It's usually between 20 and 40% if you can get a good deal. These are new instruments. So you can see that, if you've got a 20% margin, there's absolutely no point at all in selling it on eBay. It's only when and you very rarely would get a profit margin of 50%. Anyway, so these came into us at a good price. Let's have a look at what the costs were incurred. So we have, adding them up, £25.56 for the actual folders. The on-buy fees were £38.88, and then the way that on-buy tends to work is that it's free shipping. So these things, we're dealing with 36 of these things, so these things are quite heavy. So the minimum shipping fee was £8, but there was no insurance. And to be fair, I always like to insure things because it's a £300 plus order. So if it goes astray, then we've got an issue, really. So I have paid some insurance. I paid £200 worth of insurance, which has cost us £17.88. So let's have a look at what our actual profit margin is going to be. Our total cost is £82.24. The revenue, the total amount of money that we are getting from the sale, is £359.64. Now, it's worth saying that we are VAT registered, so we have to take some VAT off that, but it'll give you a ballpark figure of what the actual profit margin is. And as we see here, so we've got a profit of 277.40p, including VAT, and we have a profit margin of 77.13%, which for music retail is a massive profit, really. So if you're going to do any of this sort of online selling, the main thing to be aware of is the profit margin. There is actually an online calculator if you're using things like eBay, so you can work out whether you're actually going to make any money by the price that you buy it, the price that you sell it, and all of the other fees taken into account. So if we now want to look at whether there's a difference in terms of our profitability once we take the VAT into account. So 68.53 if we take the VAT off, and our revenue comes down to 299.70, which gives us 231.17. So though our profit margin still stayed at 77%, we actually made less money because that's £46.13 that's going to go to the VAT man. If you've got any questions about this sort of thing, drop me a message down below. So this parcel will be winging its way off to this music school. So I hope you found that interesting. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button and all of that usual sort of stuff. ding the bell if you want to be notified when new videos go up. Videos go up every week, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday, depending on how my week is going. And if you've got any comments or you need to know anything more about this sort of stuff, drop me a message down below, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers now. Bye bye.